What is going on, guys? This is Jagnal back again with another video, and today we got the deep dive for Road to Glory for EA College Football 25. And one thing that they put at the very bottom, and I'm just gonna scroll to the bottom for you, is we are getting Team Builder next. So the game comes out in a few days, so I'm assuming this Team Builder deep dive is coming out. Either it's gonna come out post-launch, which I hope that's not the case, or it's going to come out over the weekend or tomorrow. I don't know. So that's the one thing that's to keep in mind. So if you are looking for Team Builder, they did mention it. It is the next thing that they're talking about. I mean, come on, guys. The game's coming out soon. So I did want to mention that. But let's jump into the Road to Glory. I just went through this document, and I'll go through it again with you guys. And overall, I think it's pretty solid. Similar to what they've done with Dynasty Mode, it seems like they're just building off of what the old NCAA games are. Like, they're not trying to... Like, it obviously is like a reboot of the series, but it's not like they're going with, like, the Madden approach. This is absolutely, like, its own thing. Like, it's going with the NCAA 14 approach when it comes to it. So, first off, when you start and create your player, you'll get to pick different tiers. So you get to either be your journey. So you can either be an elite prospect, which will start off as a 79 overall, a blue chip, a contributor, or an underdog. Now, I'll be honest, and this might be a hot take, because there is no high school in this. First off, I think high school was extremely boring in NCAA 14. Like, yeah, it was cool to be able to play a season in high school, but like the whole point was just to get to like a 5-star and go to whatever school you want. The cool thing about this is that you can purposefully put yourself as a 2-star. That was something that you really couldn't do in NCAA 14. Like, unless you purposefully like tanked, you were going to be like at least a 4-star, if not a 5-star. So it's cool that you can like start your journey off as a 2-star if you want. That's really cool, and you start off as a 60 overall. So like you really have to work your way up. So I do think that's really cool. I think that's a great way. So if you want to start off as someone who wants to just be dominant right away, you can do that. Or if you wanted to pick anywhere in between, I think that's really cool. And I also like the way they like just kind of show the tiers based off the players. So you have Travis Hunter being like one of the highest rated players in his recruiting class. I think this is Ibuka. I think so. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But it's an Ohio State receiver. I think this is Fafita, or it's an Arizona. Arizona's quarterback, and then looks like that's... I don't know who that is. I don't know what I can't really tell, but it's a MAC school. But yeah, so... And then you get to go in and you get to pick your position. Now, I know some other people are going to be a little disappointed here is that you only have 5 positions to pick from. I know some people wanted to be a punter or a center or a long snapper, and that is fair, but being, the skill positions on the offensive side of the ball, so QB, halfback, and wide receiver, I'm not against that. The only thing I would maybe consider is, like, tight end would be something they could add later on. But, like, to be... Like, I think people who actually want to play as an offensive lineman in this game, it just doesn't make sense for me. Like, there's not much you can do there. Like, I don't know. Maybe if they really want to do it, but it's whatever. And then on defense, you do have 2 options. You have middle linebacker or corner. Now, again, I wish they probably did safety, included a safety or maybe like a defensive lineman, like an edge rusher. But I do think middle linebacker is like kind of like the most hybrid role, and then same with corner. Like, corner is like the more coverage, but I think safety could have been something that they could have easily slotted in here. I'm not too worried about that. Like, I'm probably really gonna play as a quarterback or a halfback. That's how I've always done it. I've never really done any of the skill positions, but maybe I'll try it out. But I want to hear what you guys think about that, like having only the 5 positions. But I don't think it's that big of a deal, but everyone has their own opinion, so I want to hear what your thoughts are. And then you get to pick your archetype. So I think this is also cool. It kind of steers you in the direction you want to go, which is cool. So you can kind of like decide like what kind of QB you want to be. And this is like before you even like commit or whatever. It's just like you're just building the type of recruit that you're going to be. Because that's kind of how it is. And like when someone's being recruited, I think I just refreshed the page. So yeah, so for example, like someone who's coming out of high school and they're like seen as someone who is extremely athletic, they'll probably be a scramble QB or an improviser or a field general. So I think it's cool that you get to pick these, and then you get like the physical abilities. That these are the physical abilities you would get based off of your archetype, which is fair. I think that's valid. I know some people wish they could like mix and match whatever they want, but I think it's a cool like starter. I think it kind of builds off what you'll be able to do and grow your character. So I think that's fine, picking your archetype. I'm interested to see like what the different ones, because they only really showed QB for a lot of this like creation process. So like for a halfback, is there going to be like power back, elusive back, stuff like that? Same like with a receiver, like are you going to be like a speed receiver, a possession receiver, stuff like that. So that'll actually be interesting to see as well, because depending on like your character and what you want to do. And then you get to customize your player's look and your starting mental ability. So that's interesting. And it looks like from this customization, you can do all sorts of stuff. And I'll be honest, I think this looks terrible. I think having a sleeveless hoodie with your jersey tucked up, I get like you can do it. Like it's saying, hey, you can do this if you want. I think this is trash, personally. But that is just something I haven't thought of. It's just funny. But overall, that's just kind of how it is. I'm not too, like, I just think this character looks so dumb. But I think it's like you can do that if you want. So it looks like you can edit just the normal details, but then you also can edit your appearance, well, I'm assuming like your hair and face and stuff, and then your gear. So I think this is where you can like do that. And I think styles, I don't know exactly what your styles means. Like I don't know exactly what that tab is going to be, if that's has anything to do with your character, or I don't know. That is interesting to see. But one thing I did notice is that like your blank character has a Nike swoosh, which makes me feel like, is Team Builder gonna let us have Nike logos on it? Because I don't know, that's just something I thought. That was the first thing I noticed, because this is like a temporary thing, and usually like in the NFL it's just no logo, but there's a Nike logo there. There's a Nike logo. I wonder. And then you get to pick your starting mental ability, so you can either do fan favorite, so it basically increases your composure at home, but it only works if your GPA is above a 3.0. And that's the thing, is like academics is like a deal. Like I wouldn't say it's a big deal, but it is a factor in this, which I do think is fair, because like in the end these guys are in college and they're taking college classes. Although like it's people don't really talk about it as much as they used to, because it's not really that big of a deal for these athletes, but you still have to be eligible. And like how like if your GPA falls above a 3, then it becomes deactivated. So it just shows that you do have to focus on your academics, and we'll talk about that in a second. Then you have Road Dog, where it's your ability increases your composure on the road. So that's also something. It's really, you kind of have interest. So you kind of have different kind of, do you want to be like good on the home or good at home? Do you want to be good on the road? Clear-headed, this ability limits the amount of composure you will lose. So this is like, so it all kind of just bases off your composure, it seems like. So, and it says like if you select elite or blue chip, you will be able to start with an additional mental ability. So that's pretty cool. So you do get to start off with a few abilities depending on the type of character that you start off, or I guess your tier. Again, that's cool, because I think players who are 5 stars usually have like the top tier stuff. So I do think that's cool. And then you get to go into your Road to Glory journey, so you have like all your abilities and stuff that's tied to your archetype, but also your mental abilities that you picked based off of your star rating. And then you're the recruit, and then this is interesting. So it talks about how you basically get to answer these questions. So it's like it almost determines like how like it's almost like it's like an inquiry form almost, where you answer questions and it's going to determine which schools are going to be interested in you. So it's not like these stupid cutscenes that happen in Madden or in 2K. I do like this a lot, because it makes me feel like which button do I press to get like a certain school to like me. And you can see like this options, they're very like defined. So like you want to compete for a title, or do you want to do NIL, or you want to be starter, improving your abilities. So like if you want to become a starter and you're a lower tier recruit, you probably aren't going to want to go to Alabama, because you probably won't start. So I do think that's fair, and I think that's really cool. So I guess Donna Harper is just the person that is just the generic person they're picking, but it's with so it's like a local TV reporter. So it's not like it's a cutscene, it's just you're on your phone basically. But again, I think it's kind of cool. And then after these, like after your tier, like you pick, so like if you're a 5 to 2 star, after you answer these questions, you then will get these, you'll go straight to signing day. Again, there's no college, and I think some people were hoping that there would be like a high school like all-American game. And while I think that would be cool, I do think it will just like, it just feels like it would just be college or high school all over again. Like if you just play in that one game and you ball out and you immediately become a 5-star, like what's the point? Like you're already picked to be a 5-star. So you jump straight to signing day, and this is where you get to pick your school. So it shows this guy picked South Carolina, and you can kind of see like the different roles. So it says projected role starter. So it seems like if you go to this school, you are projected to start immediately. And then it shows the NIL opportunities, the job security, I guess, of like you keeping your job, like keeping this QB spot. I don't know if that means like your coach's job security. I think it means, I'm not sure. I really don't know. Maybe it's the coach security, coach prestige, and then you have the depth chart. So okay, so you can see how like you will come in and you're already a higher overall. Okay, so that is cool. So that, and this is someone who's coming in as a 5-star recruit. So they're starting off as a 79 overall. The one thing maybe I was thinking about is like maybe if there was like an All-American game, you pick like your 5-star rating, and then based off of how well you perform in these drills or in the game, you get between like a 76 and an 80, you know? I think that would have been cool. Like you are kind of stuck to a specific overall to start, but again, it's going to change as soon as you play the game. So it's just your starting point. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. So this is kind of like you'll come in, you can start right away. And then now you have the part where it gets into like you're into the game. So you have to manage your time on and off the field. You have to earn coach trust with like through practice and games to earn improve yourself on the depth chart and all that stuff. That's kind of similar to NCAA 14. But one thing is you have a weekly agenda. So this is where you manage your time off the field. So this is how you can allocate the time. I think you have like 5 time points or 5 energy points. And basically, depending on like if it's a normal week, you'll get 5 weeks or 5 points. I'll go into that in a second. So yeah, so you'll be able to like, yeah, so if you want to get better in the weight room and get more physical attributes, you can boost your brand. So you know, this is just some things that you can choose how you want to spend your time, basically. And then practice. I think practice is actually kind of cool because really the only time I played practice in NCAA 14 was to just get XP so I could buy that one little thing, that little package of points that would give me like plus 10 throw power or plus 10 speed. But I think it's cool now it does like the medal system, like the kind of like the mini game, and I think that's awesome because it shows like it's actually like a mini game instead of it just being like throw these reps, throw these passes and stuff. So now you have all these kind of like different things to do, and you get coach trust based off of it. So I'm assuming you can sim it, but during practice, that's cool that you can do this. So it does play a vital role. So I'm wondering if you can sim this. So you can choose team minigames, skill minigames, so there's different ones you can do. Oh, you do have the option to simulate it. We'll give you the same amount of trust as your highest medal earned. So yeah, okay, so you can sim them, which is fair. So if you don't want to play practice, but I do think it is fair. Like I think if you're trying to like, let's say you go to Alabama as a 3-star and you're trying to climb the depth chart, I would just be grinding practice because you're not gonna play on the field because you're not like high on the depth chart. And then this is the whole thing. So you have 5 energy points to spend in each week. So in a short week, if you play on a Thursday, you only have 4 points. And if you have a bye week, you have 6 energy points. I think this is awesome. I think this is a great attention to detail because that's kind of how it is for real life in terms of like, you know, when you have a team coming off of a short week and they have to play, you know, a game only after a few days instead of a full week, like having only 4 energy points, that makes sense. Like obviously people don't in real life have energy points, but it's like the way to show that, hey, you're at a shorter week, you have less energy to spend on this. And then same when you have a bye week, you have 6 points. And I'm sure they experimented with the point system, so you know, maybe like I guess 6, because you're not getting, because I'm sure you'll be able to use it on both weeks, so you'll get, so basically like this, you're just getting an extra point per that week because you don't have to play a game. So that is kind of interesting for sure. So you'll have like the 6 energy points on your bye week, and then the next week you'll go back to the 5 points. Or if you're going on a bye week and then playing on a short week, you'll go from 6 to 4. If that makes sense. I'm trying not to really just throw all these numbers out at you, but basically you got to show how you want to. Yeah, so basically this is how you can spend your points. You can either spend on academics. The whole point of this is just to maintain your eligibility. So I would probably do this the least. I would just do this just to make sure that I'm like in the same, like just in the right, just enough to be eligible. Now I'm sure this probably will become an issue if you try to transfer. So let's say I try to transfer to like Stanford. They'll be like, nah, because your academics, like my GPA is low. But I think this is probably something that like, you know, kind of just monitoring it, but maybe not have to be super active with. Leadership, so it helps you earn respect and trust from your teammates and coaches. So that's another thing you do. Health. So this is another thing, is like health is a big part, like, you know, your wear and tear. That it's something to keep in mind. So like I do think this might be a really valuable one, especially making sure that you don't get injured and lose like time and stuff. And then training, so this is how you can get your physical attributes. And then brand, so this is where the NIL aspect comes into it. So working on your brand can increase your popularity and other off-field benefits. I'm wondering, like, what do you get? Like, what is the on-field? Like, what do you get for that? Like, if you did your brand, like, I mean, like, yeah, great, you can make money and stuff. I don't think it's gonna say make money, but like, I wonder, like, what's the actual impact of increasing your brand? Like, will it help you transfer to a better school? Like, if you wanted to start off as a smaller school, I'm interested. So this is where it goes into it. So you have to do you can spend time on test readiness. So I know some people were mentioning, like, am I gonna have to take a quiz? Am I gonna have to take like a calculus quiz to make sure I maintain my eligibility? No, not necessarily. You just have to like dedicate points to being, you know, prepared for tests, I guess, and making sure your GPA doesn't fall below 2.0, and that's when you become ineligible, which is actually kind of crazy how you can become ineligible in this game. I think that's awesome, though. I think that's a really cool factor, because that has happened. That's happened where, you know, players have become ineligible. Now, I don't think it happens like in the middle of the season, but it's usually like in the beginning of the season, or they can't get into school. I do think that's cool, though. I do think that's like something you have to keep in mind. Like, you have to put at least a little bit of attention to. And then, so okay, so maintaining a high GPA has other benefits. So I was wrong. So you'll get your fan favorite mental ability and your weak coach trust. So having a high GPA does matter for these mental abilities. So it does have a little bit of working there. So then your leadership. This is where, so the next one is kind of where it gives you, I don't know, how you basically earn respect and trust from your teammates. Yeah, so I guess having better team dynamics and performance. It will provide you with a weekly bonus and coach trust, so that is good to help make sure that if you're climbing the depth chart, or if you're at the top, if you're, you know, the starting QB, you don't lose that position. So you'll receive a positive bonus each week, determining on how your leadership confidence is. So that's pretty cool. Oh, so it's also significantly impacts your teammates' progress. So that's also a really cool thing. So like, if you are an excellent leader, your teammates will probably boost up too, and your team starting composure. So I will say leadership is definitely like probably one of the more OP for like the team, like the actual team player who wants to have your team just be better. So I think that's awesome. I actually do think that's really cool, and I think I will put a lot of effort to that. Especially if you're at a smaller school, like you just want to boost up your smaller school into, like, if you just want to put the team on your back. And then you have health, so managing your body is critical. And then you have the wear and tear, so this is where you kind of, you dedicate and put your, you know, put time to getting your body back to health. Unlike dynasty players, you will not automatically recover a set amount of wear and tear. If you do not spend time recovering, your damage will persist. Okay, so that's actually interesting. So that is okay. I don't know if that's really realistic, but I do think it's like, I guess you do have to spend the time and energy to like rehab. So I guess it puts that option to you. I mean, like, the body heals naturally, come on, but like, I guess you do have to put time into like recovery and stuff. So I mean, that is fair. That, I mean, I can't really disagree with that. So the fact that you have to like spend time to recover, or some of your time points depending on how damaged you are. And yeah, looking at these things, so like it shows your wear and tear impact. That's pretty cool. And I know like some people are concerned about wear and tear. I am too. I'm interested to see like how is it actually going to impact the game. And I think it's something you could turn off, but like I think it's a big part of the game, so I'm probably going to keep it on for most of the time, just because like I think it's important. It's and that's just kind of how, you know, the game works. Like you kind of like bodies get damaged with time. That makes sense. Or it's a weird way to say it, but like, you know what I'm saying, like it's a high impact sport. So then you have training. So this is where you'll earn XP, and then you'll earn a skill point. So this is where you can kind of like upgrade your players. This is kind of like similar to what you've done in Madden, where you can kind of upgrade, you know, certain skill points. So that's kind of like the this is also, oh, after you train, you will incur a small amount of wear and tear. Okay, so that is something else to keep in mind, is like if you train a lot, you will kind of, you know, that's another thing too. It's like, that's fair. It's like, do you focus on training or do you focus on recovery? That's like that's a lot of thing that a lot of athletes have to struggle with, is like, do you focus on continuing to train with the, you know, like the and you have that ability to eventually get you hurt, or do you recover but also miss out on the training? And then, okay, so this is where the brand part. So your brand is a representation of your off-field social status and influence as a student athlete. Building a strong brand can open up numerous opportunities and benefits. You'll have the opportunity to grow your brand and potentially become a global phenom. Your brand is represented by your number of followers you have. That's kind of funny. And the more followers you gain, the higher your brand level becomes. So you can see, okay. Okay, so that is, so you do get like the road dog ability if your brand level goes high. Okay, that is fair. I mean, that's as your brand grows, you unlock name, image, and likeness deal slots. These slots allow you to be offered off-field NAL opportunities, which can enhance your overall brand and provide additional benefits. Once you reach the influencer status, you will activate the road dog ability. This ability increases your composure gains when playing on the road. Each time you perform the socialized action, you'll increase the number of followers as well as your engagement meter. The more frequently you socialize, the higher your engagement meter will be. A higher engagement meter means your content is more likely to go viral, allowing you to gain followers more quickly. This is like the YouTuber side quest for your Road to Glory. Maybe I'll do this and I'll just put all my money into the influencer part. That's actually kind of hilarious. So you go from local hero to influence superstar and global phenom. And I guess it gives you these abilities. That is kind of cool. Okay, so scenarios. As you grow, you will encounter unexpected scenarios and dilemmas that add complexity and excitement to your experience. These dilemmas will trigger based off the decisions you make and how you spend your time off the field. Okay, so let's scroll down. I think there was a thing where it's like, yeah, so it's like, do you want to like skip class and then, you know, you sleep in and you gain your wear and tear improves by 3, but your academic advisors are pissed because you missed a pop quiz and now your GPA decreased. So that is actually, I think that's kind of cool. Like it adds like the RPG like to it. It's like, you know, like doing this has an impact. Like, it's not just something that's only a positive or only a negative. Like, yeah, like you sleep in. It's not like you click the button and you realize it was the wrong decision. Like, you might think overall if your GPA goes down, it's probably not a bad thing because like maybe you needed that rest. You need that rest so that your body you don't get injured and you're okay with taking a little hit to your GPA and you can get that up later. So I think that's really cool. So looking at the NIL deals, you must have an open NIL deal slot, which is determined by your brand level. The more deal slots, increasing your opportunities. Okay, they come with a duration and an energy cost. Okay, the energy cost can be upfront cost or weekly cost over the course of the contract. Okay, so accepting NIL deals comes with rewards, so you can get gameplay bonuses, off-field bonuses. Okay, so it is... Okay, that is kind of cool. I will say that is... Okay, so this is a 2-week contract. It costs 1 energy point, and you get... Okay, this is kind of cool. Like, it's like... This is really cool. I do like this. And then you have the... So, like, you basically... You have a contract, and like the contracts seem to be really short. So it's a 2-week contract. You'll spend 1 energy point, so it is going to take one of your energy per week, but you'll gain 500 followers. And I think gaining the 500 followers allows you to get like that road dog ability. So like that's a really cool thing that you like get to how you want to spend your points. You can really diversify how you want to do it. And then moving on, you have coach trust and position battles. And coach trust, so this is similar. This is very similar to NCAA 14. So I'm going to kind of skip over it. You know, you can trigger a position battle and then you can win it. And then so this is how you can like win the QB's battles and stuff. So yeah, I think it's pretty similar to what NCAA 14 was like. And you basically have to, so it's like once you accumulate enough coach trust, you'll trigger what's called a position battle. Is your golden opportunity to earn your spot on game day. They're intense and task you with winning 2 out of 3 position-specific mini games. So you have to win 2 out of 3. So that is cool. If you lose a position battle, you need to climb back up the ladder over the next few weeks. So you don't just get to immediately challenge them next week. Like you get dropped down, you have to move back up, and then you have player progression. So this is how you can you'll earn XP, and then you can use it to upgrade your player. It seems like. And unlike your Road to Glory character, will not earn any off-season progression. Okay, so you do spend. It's based on how you spend your points, basically. So that's fair because you don't you have control over how much you want to progress. And then similar to Dynasty players, you will upgrade your attributes by spending skill points to upgrade an entire skill group, which I think is cool. So like for example, if you want to upgrade so you can upgrade, I think if you upgrade some ability that's like revolving around being a scrambling quarterback, it would probably be like throw on the run, speed, stuff like that, similar to what Madden is. And I think that's fair, like upgrading based off of like skill groups. Like you don't just up your speed and up your strengthness. It's like you have to pick like a specific type. And again, that's cool. So it looks like if you look at this, you have your elusiveness, you can upgrade this, and it upgrades a +1 to all these things. So this is how it works. So this is like if you're a wide receiver, so you can change your elusiveness, your hands. So these are your specific ones that you can upgrade. And it looks like your power is capped. I wonder if you can remove that cap, but that is interesting for sure. And then you have your mental and physical abilities. I don't really want to go into that because it's already kind of been talked about for the other games, like the other game modes. So you do have the mental and physical abilities, which is cool. And then moving into game day, you do have like the special camera angle that you can do. And then the cool thing is that if you're playing on the road, like you'll have like you'll have to deal with the things like having incorrect pre-play art, missing button icons, miscommunications with your receivers when trying to hot route. So that is interesting. So like imagine you pick a hot route and they run the wrong route. That is actually kind of cool. So if you're playing on the road, that is pretty cool. And then this camera angle is a thing. It's crazy that you can rock with this kind of hoodie situation. I'm not gonna do that because my coach would not allow that if I was in college football. And yeah, so it looks like you can change the camera angles to do all that. And then you have your wear and tear, so you have to actively manage your physical condition. So you have to make sure that you aren't damaged enough. So you have to make strategic decisions to preserve your health. Do you purposely miss a block to save your body? Ooh, like as a receiver. Oh, do you think twice about scrambling on second down? Oh my gosh, that is actually so true. Like if you're a running back, like would you just run out of bounds, or would you cut up field and try to get more yards because you don't want to get hurt? Again, I'm interested to see how wear and tear impacts the game, but I think it's really cool. So you can monitor your wear and tear, kind of mentioned, and then eventually if you take too much damage, your coach may pull you from the game. So you can get pulled, and then if you're too damaged, you may not play at all. Okay, so you can you can literally get taken out, and that happens a lot in NCAA 14. You just get hurt and then you're out for like a few plays and then you get brought back in. So that is cool. And then you'll have the same thing with play calling that you've had in NCAA 14, where as you grow your coach trust, you'll get more options to pick your plays, and then you can also change your plays. So I think that's cool that you'll be able to do that. As you grow your brand, or I said grow your coach trust. This is something that's straight from NCAA 14. I'm glad they brought it back because I think it's pretty clean. And then lastly, you have the transfer portal. So this is actually really cool. So again, you can transfer every single year if you want. So, and then based off of, so the cool thing is like, it's not just a yes or no, it's a gateway to new adventures. And the potential suitors won't just be random picks. There'll be schools that align with your player's performance and the key pitches that initially attracted them during the recruitment process. So that's the thing. It's like it's gonna be like a curated. It's not like you just pick whatever school you want to go to. So like if you sucked and you were the second string and you want to transfer, even if you're a 5-star, you may not get the same offers as when you were a high school recruit. Or on the other hand, if you start off as a lower tier recruit and you're doing really, really well, and now you want to transfer to a higher level school, you can do that as well. So that is true. That is actually interesting. And I think that's cool how you'll be able to like change up your, you can transfer every single year. So yeah, I think that's really cool. And then you have the end of the journey where you can, be an All-American and earn all these rewards, take them to the playoff. And then at the end, you get to either take your player to Madden or just retire. So that's kind of cool. You can take your player over to the the Madden 25, so you can export it to Superstar mode, which is kind of cool. I think that was something that I kind of expected. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think overall, I am really excited for Road to Glory. I think it's a great spiritual successor to NCAA 14. So yeah, the one thing I'm just excited for now is the Team Builder deep dive. I do plan on doing a Road to Glory. I don't know if I'll do a series, but let me know if you guys want me to do like a series going over Road to Glory. But yeah, that's really it, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button down below. I'm really excited for this game that's coming out. I'm moving like right before the game, so I already have internet set up. So I hope everything will be all good at my new place. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Other than that, this has been Jagnal, and I will see you guys next time.